If you guys want me to do, as you guys know, I don't have a editing software, so I can't really put the list on. I could just. We're gonna start from primaries, secondaries to heavies, and then do a tier list for damage. So, let's go ahead and start it. S plus. Sweet business. It's a C plus unless you are using a Titan. It doesn't do that much damage in PvE. It's pretty good in PvP, but it's not really good. Racking. If you have 6 people using it, it comes for pretty good damage. It actually does decent damage if you have 6. PvP wise, it's pretty good. It gives you invisibility. It gives you an easier target. It's just not long range, but it's still good. Jade Rabbit. The most pain in the ass fucking scout rifle to get used to, but it's the most damn good one. The precision shot frames, but you have to shoot body, headshot to get the kill. Or you can also do head, body. It's just completely, it all depends if you can hit your shots. Sliverus has been nerfed a couple times. It's not as good as it used to be. I do wish there's a better way of making this weapon more better. Like this gun needs to go back. This is going to be a tier B for PvP in the past. But as of right now, it's basically a tier D. Jade Rabbit, tier B. Rat King, tier B. Ace of Spades, good hand cannon, good for headshots. When you gain your headshots, it allows you to get basically a 2-tap hit, as long as you're able to hit your headshots. That's a tier A. Last word, it has not been good for a long time. I do wish it would be again a catalyst, but it does not. So this is going to have to be a tier C. Outbreak is one of my most favorites from D1. It's pretty good for PvP. Not many people use it. Not many people use it for PvE either. It's good for like killing your own teammates in private matches, but that's pretty much it. It's not really a good damage weapon at all. Sturm is the exact same thing as the, I would say, is better than Last Word, but not too good. Sturm is a pretty good weapon. It's only good for PvP, not really good for PvE. Mida multi-tool. One of the advantages of it is your radar will be on the screen forever, especially when you aim. It has pretty good long range, pretty good damage for headshots in PvP, not really good for PvE. Huckleberry, excellent for PvP. And multi-tool, I gotta put that as tier C. It's not that good. Huckleberry, excellent. S, completely. It's one of the best SMGs for exotic that you can get. It's excellent in PvP. It's pretty good in PvE, but not too well. West Center is good for champions. It's good for breaking barriers. Like that exotic quest, I forget what it's called, where the boss has a shield and you can, before they patched it, you can shoot right through it and damage the boss while you're waiting for the shield to disappear, while everyone else is doing the mechanics. So this is going to be a tier S. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Chaperone has been nerfed in the past a lot. Mostly a PvP weapon. Everyone should know it. It used to be in D1. But it's going to be a tier C, since it's been heavily nerfed. Arbalist, good weapon damage, good anti-barrier, and it's also good for shooting oracles and Atheon. Not really good for PvP wise due to the fact that You're not always going to have ammo. You're not always going to get that shot. You only have 2 tries unless you can get ammo. So it's a tier C. Well, no, I'm going to make that tier A. So Arbitrus is tier A. Lumina, no one ever uses it. That's all I can say about it. Tier D. It used to be good, and now it's just shit. Vigilant Swing. Pretty good for PvP. Pretty good for PvE. It's most stronger for PvP due to the fact that it's a 5-round burst. Crimson. I gotta say, it's... Man, Vigilant Swing is a tier... I'll go C. Crimson, tier A due to the fact that it's a good PvP, good PvE. It's actually excellent for headshots. It heals you on the points that you get kills, as long as the kill ends with a headshot. As long as the kills ends with a headshot, it'll heal you. Now, my D1 favorite, Cyros Regem. Cyros has been buffed, nerfed, buffed, nerfed, buffed, nerfed. It's still pretty good in PvP, not really in PvE, but you also have 2 ways of changing it. You can change it to spinning up, which allows you to shoot fast, or you can do a dual speed and receiver, which allows you to shoot slow, but also do higher damage. It's not really good for, you know, like, raids and stuff like that. Malfeasance. If you have 6 Malfeasance in the raid, it does excellent damage, as long as somebody has div on for the debuff. It's a good PvP. It's good for taking down knights, taking enemies. It's also good for taking bosses. It's good for PvP. Actually, it's actually pretty amazing if you can get your shots into it. I'm just gonna say Burden. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. It's only good if you have Apex Predator with switching this. But here comes the little problem. If you do not have the Catalyst, you're not going to get maximum damage as you would have with the Catalyst. Like me, I'm not going to waste my time with a damn sniper. Holding down consumes the magazines, gives you 1 high power round, and you have to constantly hold it down to get that next high power round. And that's only if you hold it down. It's pretty good for switching, bait and switch. It's pretty good for that. That's going for tier A. Malfeasance, tier A. Thorn has been buffed and a catalyst, so I gotta put that tier S. It's pretty good for PvP, pretty good for damage, as long as you have necrotic grips. Bad Juju, I never ever see one that uses this, so I don't know. I don't even use it. There's a lot of weapons. Marticolo, it's good. They got a new perk for it. It's bayonet, where you can just melee with the bayonet. It's pretty good. It gives you melee back. So I put that tier B. Travel Chosen. Never use it. That's going to go to tier C because I don't use it. Demon Salem. Never use it. Tier C. Forerunner. Tier B, due to the fact that it has previous nerfs, it's not as good as it used to be. Quicksilver is good for PvE. It's more better for you to use your grenade to hit the champions. But since this season is not the anti-barrier, it's best to use for overloads this season. Conditional Finality. Excellent PvP weapon. Not really good for damage. Navigator. People uses this only for the people who want to skip areas, like the ship in King's Fall. Tether yourself while using the woven mail. Allow you to skip ahead without having to do any issues. Bastion, no one ever uses it, tier C. Hawkmoon, tier A. Rarely ever see anyone uses it, tier C. Iso Striga, amazing PvE, fucking amazing clear weapon. And it does pretty decent damage as long as you combine it with necrotic grips. It does amazing damage. Osteo Striga is a tier. You know what? I'm gonna put that at tier plus. Tier S plus. Revision 0 had a little buff, not really a good buff. So I'm gonna put it at tier A. Come on, no one ever uses this. Necrochasm. The greatest weapon in D1, the greatest weapon in D2, especially in the crowded grips. Necrochasm, a fast shooting and exploding primary final blows every time you hit a primary position. I don't know why I say primary. As soon as you hit position final blow, it triggers an explosion and gives you Desperado or Desperation. But it will indicate as Desperado while it's appearing on your screen. Wither Horde is a good bait and switch weapon. It's a self-damage weapon. It's not really a good PvP weapon unless you can aim it on the target every single time. You can damage them in between, but most people jump out of the way before it kills them. No time to explain. Most hated weapon I hate so much. Because it fucking 2-taps. No time to explain. Should definitely get nerfed a lot. But a bunch of won't do that. Tier A. Age of Scepter. I haven't used it since season 15. It was good for clear, not good for PvP. It's a tier B. Come on, touch your mouse has never been good. Tier C. Final Warning. Tier C. What can implement? Tier C. Cohort. Not as good as it used to be, but I do wish they would bring it to stasis. Since it's called Cold Heart, you would think it would be called stasis instead of arc. So I'll put it at tier C. Shunshot has been in meta this season for hand cannons. It's a tier S. No one ever uses it. Tier D. No one ever uses it. Tier B. Because it has been used in PvP and not much in PvE. Trinity Gold is a good, excellent, clear weapon in PvE. You can kill one enemy and just kills a lot as long as you get that perk clocked. As long as you can get that, you can just constantly kill ads as long as you keep killing ads with it. The Monarch has been majorly nerfed. It's not as good as it used to be, but it does have built-in overload. Tier A. Ariana's Vow sucked. It's supposedly an Oracle one-shot, but it only shots one, and the rest Oracles would be 2 shots. Merciless, if you have the Catalyst, is a tier S+. Excellent weapon for both PvP and PvP. Graviton Lance has been in the meta for about 2 seasons now, and it's good for PvE, it's good for PvP, so that's going for tier S+. Risk Runner, no one ever uses it, tier D. Telesto, the mother of all bugs, tier S. It still does good damage in PvE, still does good PvP stuff. Wasteler, no one ever uses it, tier D. Jotun, excellent for PvE, excellent for damage. It does about 46,000 damage with div, and it has that 1500 per tick scorch damage. So just constantly damage it. So it's about roughly 60,000 per shot. If you have these solar reserves, you can do a pretty good damage. Div, you already know. It's a debuff, so it doesn't really get a rank. Fighting Lion, the most annoyingest of all of them. I gotta go with tier B. Skyburner's Oath hasn't really shown that much in the light, so tier C. Higher light, tier C. Boris Lance has been buffed a lot, so it's going to go to tier A. It's pretty good for PvP, not really well for PvE. Lord of Wolves has been heavily nerfed, so this is shit now. Tier D. Terba, good for PvP. Kinda good for PvE. Tier B. Symmetry, good for PvP. For PvE. Tier C. Devil's Ruin, good for PvE if you can hit your target. Pretty good for PvE. Pretty good. Not really good, but pretty good. Tier C. Ruinous. Tier B. No one ever uses this weapon, so Tier C. Tier D, because all exotic from Glaze are shit. Dead Messenger. Decent. It's not too bad. It's not too good. Tier C. Trespasser. Pretty good in PvP. Not really good in PvE. I had to put that in Tier C. Excalibur. Pretty good in PvP. Pretty good in PvE. Tier B. Double-Ace Matchbook. There has been bugs and a couple things around with this weapon, so it's going to have to be Tier A. Duality. No one ever uses it. Tier C. Vex Mythoclast. Good for PvE and good for PvP. And plus, it just got a 300% buff this season. So that's a Tier A. Tier D. This is roughly Tier B, maybe? It all depends if you can concoct the Leech Void buffs or Volatile buffs. Manticore, it's not as good. Who wants to use a weapon that just keeps you in the air? Sentry Fury is good for PvP. Tier A. Fourth Horseman has been heavily nerfed. It's shit. The only people that does actually damage with it is the people who's not limiting. So those people are low life cheaters. So this is a Tier D. It has not been good for plenty of seasons, and we're not getting that buff. Cloud Strike is the most hated. Tier S. Lance, since they nerfed it. Tier B. Tier D. Tier D. Tier D, no one ever uses it. Tier C. I haven't even got it yet, so I don't know. I'm gonna make another video for the heavy tier list.